if you have a quick announcement other than a plea, please go ahead and let me know at this time so we can have your case called. So again, quick announcements other than pleas. I'll start with Mr. Gonzalez. Good afternoon, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
What number do you have?
Number 32 on the court's criminal docket.
All right, number 32. Court's going to go ahead and call CR 21-12-407H, State of Texas versus Michael Anthony Reyes. This is a NISI recall.
Judge, the NISI had been previously recalled at a prior hearing. It was set today for a plea. I need a week to get the plea papers signed up, but it's a worked out deal. The only thing is, Judge, I know the restitution sometimes is left open. I had asked that the state might have an amount for me. My client had asked about that, but in any event, it's a plea and I just need the plea paperwork. So if we could have a week, sir.
Sure, let me go ahead and give you April 28th at 2 o'clock. April 28th, 2 o'clock, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Let me see real quick who represents Felix Garza.
I do, Your Honor. Chris Sully. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sully. Let's go ahead and call Mr. Felix Garza. Let's see what number he is on my docket. He's number 4, CR 22-02-163H, State of Texas versus Felix Garza Jr. Mr. Sully, your announcement.
Yes, Your Honor. We're still trying to work this case out. We'd received an offer of deferred, which Mr. Garza rejected. We made a counter offer for time served. He's been in custody for almost 2 months now. But Mr. Garza wants to plead no contest, so we're looking into whether that can be done. In the meantime, Your Honor, we filed a motion for bond reduction. His bond is currently set at $5,000. We were asking the court to consider perhaps a PR bond with AIP since he's unable to make even that amount, Your Honor.
What priors does he have? No priors? What's the holdup then in terms of a no contest plea? You're on mute, Mr. Heller.
Apologies, Judge. We're actually wanting to get him screened for mental health court, but he hasn't allowed himself to do that. So that's what's been the holdup. He does have a history of mental health issues.
How do we know that? How do we know he has a history if he doesn't have any priors?
His parents have, the victim is his father, I believe, and his parents have told all of us, basically.
Okay, so his family are the victims of the terroristic threat?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Sully.
The issue with the mental health court, Your Honor, is that he's not willing to accept probation. That actually offered him deferred without that condition, and he didn't want to do probation, mostly because he was concerned about having to pay the fees. That was at the beginning of this case. Now that he has almost 2 months credit, I just spoke with him this morning. He said he's willing to plead no contest for time served, but I told him I would make that counteroffer. I asked him about the deferred adjudication, which was still on the table, and the possibility of some other form of probation, and he just wasn't willing to take probation.
Look, at this point, I have to balance the interest of the parents and the interest of what the jail is asking us to do. And at 60, almost 60, look, obviously this isn't going to get taken care of today. By the time I reset this case to next week, he'll have close to 60 days. I have no problem allowing him to enter a plea of no contest within no priors so that we can dispose of this case. Now, he comes back, now he has a prior. And I look at the world differently, and I look at this case differently, and I look at his case differently. And at that point, you just can't continue to reoffend, and I turn a blind eye. But 60 days for a first-time offense, and with all due respect, I know that the family may be asking for certain things, but I don't know what the motivation or the interest of the parents are at this point without having them come before the court. And I think 61 days for a terroristic threat is, we've done less. So I have an interest in, moving my docket, clearing the jail, and I don't have a problem with him playing no contest. So how does that play into your negotiations, Mr. Sully? I mean, you want to pay it to the court, I don't have a problem with it. when it's, set this up for next week, I don't have a problem with it. By then he'll have a few more days, and really, at this point, I need to clear out this jail. And I don't know if necessarily giving him a PR bond is the best option, because it leaves this case open, and then I may never find him or see him again.
Yes, Your Honor. That's fine, Your Honor. We could do it as a plea to the court. If the court's willing to accept that, as soon as I get the plea paperwork, I'll sign him up, and whenever the court's available, we can have him separately.
I can do it as early as Tuesday if you can make it that work.
I think so, Your Honor. If I get the plea paperwork today, I think pretrial is usually pretty quick. Should be able to get him signed up by Tuesday, hopefully.
Okay, Tuesday is what day? The 26th. Let's shoot for 4/26, 2022 at 2:00.
Very well, Your Honor. We'll get him signed up. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sounds good.
I think that's all I had on the docket, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reyes.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. You have number 11. CR 2106510H, Eduardo Ovidio.
Your Honor, Samuel Reyes for Eduardo Oviedo, Your Honor, and he does have a felony pending that we would like to try to take together with this case, so we're asking for 30 days.
All right, so I'm being told that the last time we had the felony had a hearing was March 16th, but do you have any idea as to when his next date is for the felony? What court is it out of?
It's out of the 430.
430th? We're not showing a date out of the 430th. So there's no reset date is what I'm being told.
I see that, Judge. Yeah, they did not set a reset date. I have to follow up with the court so they can give us a date on that one, Judge. He did, been speaking to him, Your Honor, he does have some mental issues. His issue of competency has been raised several times in some of his past felony cases. But my understanding, and I'm trying to get more information, that he does have a head injury that he sustained in Minnesota. So what I've told the felony court is that I needed time to try to get those records from Minnesota. Unfortunately, the hospital that we tried at didn't have record of it. So we really are just right now, going to try to see if we can find out something, Judge, because the issue is that I think he's really on the borderline of competency. But if the court would give me, I think 30 to 45 days, I can get a date also in the felony court, and we can continue to try to move these forward.
Let me do this. I'd hate for him to go that long and not get another date out of the felony court. Let me give you May 12th. Let's see where we're at. That gives you some time to look into the felony, set him up, put him back on the docket over there, and then we can reconvene and see where we're at on May the 12th. That gives you that's about 3 weeks down the road.
That sounds good, Judge. Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
Judge. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
We go over to Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you have number 21. Number 21 is CR 2102746H, Cesar Guzman Gutierrez.
Yes, Your Honor. David K. Williams for Cesar Gutierrez. This is an evading case. I think he has about 58 days in jail before the court did let him out on bond, first on AIP, and then let him go to Iowa to work. And so the court took him off of AIP, and he remains on bond. We are set for a plea agreement in the 430th for May 11th. And so we're hoping maybe we could get a date and we could plead to this either for time served or probation to run concurrent with the probation that we're getting in the 430th.
Okay, I can give you, May the 17th, May the 19th. I can give you May the 12th.
Oh, I think May the 12th would be the best, Your Honor, because it'd be right there by the May 11th other hearing.
Sure, May the 12th, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, May 12th at 2:00.
Great. So we'll plea in the 4/30th on the 11th, and hopefully we'll plea in your court on the 12th. We don't have an offer yet, but I expect that those two proposals that I made are probably in line with what the DA is thinking. They had indicated that probation would be fine, and since we're doing probation in the other court, I imagine any probation they would propose would be acceptable to us since we're already doing felony probation.
Okay. All right.
Great.
We'll
Thank
see you
you,
May
Your Honor.
12th at 2 o'clock.
Thank you. May we both be excused?
You're both excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, Richard.
Judge, good afternoon. I just have a quick announcement on number 37 on the docket.
Number 37. That is CR 2104-878H, Ramon Guillermo Toledano.
Correct, Your Honor.
And I did see him log on.
Judge, I believe Mr. Heller's already filed the dismissal in this case, Judge.
Mr. Heller?
Toledano, I believe I already did, Judge. Yes, Judge, I filed it like literally like 10 minutes ago.
All right. At the request of District Attorney's Office, a case against Ramon Guillermo Toledano is hereby dismissed. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You and your client are both excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's go with Ms. Conant.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two cases for quick announcements. One is number 5 and 6 on your criminal docket.
All right, 5 and 6 is CR 22-03-031H and CR 22-03-032H, Jose Hernandez.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, Your Honor. He had a felony pending, and I ran his name through, and I see it's been indicted on April 12th in the 332nd, but he doesn't have a court date yet.
Let me go ahead and, what do you think, about 2 to 3 weeks by the time he gets a date and then makes his initial appearance and then maybe ask for the 10 days? We can go maybe 3 weeks down the road or a little less. I mean, I'm open to whatever you suggest.
Well, I was going to ask for 30 days, Your Honor.
Okay. I can give you May 17th or May the 19th.
Either one will be fine.
Let's see which one looks better on our end in terms of our docket. I was told to be careful. Yeah, either the 17th or the 19th. Which one looks in the afternoon?
19th sounds good.
Okay, May 19th, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Thank you. And my next case, Your Honor, is number 22 and 23 on the docket. Romeo Jefferson.
All right, that's 22 and 23, CR 2109-956H, CR 2109-957H, Romeo Jefferson.
And Your Honor, I've received the plea paperwork on him, and I've not been able to meet with him for him to sign it.
All right, Mr. Jefferson, how long would it take you, or just so I can have an idea, to give you a reset date for the plea paperwork? I can give you maybe May the 3rd, May the 5th. Advise you about 2 weeks, Ms. Conant, Mr. Jefferson.
Okay, yes, sir, that'll be great.
All right, let's do May 5th. May
Great.
5th, 2022 at 2 o'clock, okay?
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right, perfect. We'll see you on May the 5th, Mr. Jefferson. You're excused. Stay in contact with Ms. Conant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have a good day, Your Honor.
Likewise, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right. I have a note here for Mr. Ira Jimenez. Mr. Jimenez, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, I have a note here from my staff that says that your case was reset to May the 5th at 2 o'clock. May 5th, 2 o'clock, and to contact your attorney.
Thank you, Judge. May I be dismissed?
You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Mr. Halili, you have number 20. Is that going to be a plea?
Yes, Your Honor, we're signed up for a plea on number 20.
Perfect. Let me get an announcement from Ms. Cedillo real quick. I missed her. Ms. Cedillo, are you ready to make an announcement before I take up pleas? Okay, well then if not, we will continue with our pleas. Ms. Ramirez, I understand you have a plea as well. Tanya Ramirez,
Hi, Your Honor, Jonathan Munoz for Tanya Ramirez.
okay, Mr. Munoz, what number do you have?
Sorry, Your Honor, let me get that number. But this isn't a quick announcement, Your Honor. It's for a plea, mine.
Yes, I'm taking up those right now.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, it's Mr. Arias. Let me pull up the.
All right, number one.
Oh, yes.
All right, so Mr. Munoz, it's going to be a plea on number one, Jose Guadalupe Arias. If I can have Mr. Arias come forward. So Arias, stand tight right there. Don't move. I'm going to call your case here shortly. All right, so Mr. Halili, you have a plea. In your case, Mr. Olga de Garcia Garza, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and just for the court's information, she will need the services of an interpreter.
All right, so she is Spanish. Got you. Miss Garcia de Garcia, can I have you unmute yourself so that I can make sure your microphone works?
Señora de García, ¿puede encender su micrófono para verificar que sí trabaja su micrófono? Ahí en la pantalla está un botoncito rojo.
Sí.
Yes. Okay, perfect. I know that it's working. Be ready to mute and unmute yourself, ma'am.
Ok, ya verifiqué que sí está trabajando. Prepárese para encender y apagar su micrófono cuando se le llame.
Ah, ok, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
Any other attorneys and any other pleas that I have? I want to make sure I'm only going to do one set of pleas, so I want to make sure that we have everybody. We have quite a number of people, but nobody's logged on.
On 33, 34, 35, and 36, that was a removal from drug court and sentencing. State's gonna defer to the court on the sentence for those.
All right, is Pablo Rodriguez present? I do have Pablo Rodriguez.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Let's go ahead and, is Mr. Espinosa logged on? No, right?
Brandon Villarreal, go ahead and remove your hat, sir.
Okay, that'll be a sentencing. I can take care of that one. The admonishments will be quick on that one, so I don't have to necessarily do that one first. Brandon, let me see, Brandon Villarreal. I see Brandon Villarreal logged on.
Your Honor, if I may on that one, I'm just real quick, make an announcement for Miss Edna Cedillo.
Yes.
That one, they're just pending plea papers. So she was just asking for a reset for the plea date.
All right, can I give you May the 3rd?
May 3rd.
May 3rd, 2022 at 2 o'clock. All right, Mr. Villarreal, can you hear me? I don't know if Mr. Villarreal can hear me, but if you can, reset is May the 3rd at 2 o'clock. If you've heard me or you can hear me, even though I cannot hear you, give me a thumbs up, please, and that'll acknowledge that you in fact can hear me. Can you give me a thumbs up, Mr. Villarreal, that you understood that your reset date is May the 3rd at 2 o'clock?
And Your Honor, I'll make sure that Ms. Cedillo follows up with him after this hearing.
Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log him off, and maybe by doing so, he logs back on and it resets his audio.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Judge, I think my lawyer's calling me. I don't know if I could log out of the meeting and log back in.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Villarreal, Brandon, can you hear me now? Brandon Villarreal? Okay. Mr. Gustavo Lopez, have you spoken to Mr. Cantu, your lawyer?
Yes, sir, we spoke. Well, not today, but we were set for this morning at 9, and then they told me to log in at 2:00. But we signed the papers. We signed the plea.
You did sign the plea paperwork?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yuri, have you received those?
That one I have, Judge.
Mr. Lopez, do you mind if someone else stands in on behalf of your lawyer so you don't have to come back, or would you like for me to reset your case so that you can come back another day?
That's fine, sir. Somebody can step in for him.
Okay. Mr. Halili, can you assist?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and have Mr. Halili. Now, on this one, Yuri, are we proceeding on all cases? 'Cause I know he's got three, I'm sorry.
Judge, the possession will be dismissed.
All right, the possession will be dismissed. So you're proceeding on the other two, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. Okay. How about Penny Marie Kopler? Good afternoon, ma'am. Have you spoken with your attorney?
Well, they called me this morning to give me the login.
Okay. Have you signed any paperwork?
Yes.
She called, she's supposed to be logging in, Judge. Ms. Martinez.
Okay, so the first 25 and 26? Dismissed. And we're proceeding on number 27? Just one. Gotcha.
Yes, Judge, we're going to be proceeding on 9 and 4. Number 27.
Sorry? 9 and 4?
9 and 4H.
Oh, 994H. Okay, number 27. Gotcha. Okay, let me see on this one. Mr. Munoz, do you mind standing in for Ms. Morales until she logs on so I can move on and continue with the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, that should take care of our the people that are logged on at this point. So I have Jose Guadalupe Arias, Mr. Munoz representing Mr. Arias, and he is in jail. And I have the next case that I'm going to call is Olga de Garcia Garza. She is a Spanish speaker, and she is Mr. Halili's case.
Judge, if Mr. Arias is also a Spanish speaker.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Actually, it does help. We got two Spanish speakers back to back. Okay, so we've got Mr. Arias and Ms. Olga de Garcia Garza, Spanish speaker, followed by Penny Marie. How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Kopler?
Klopfer?
Klopfer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Klopfer. And then Gustavo Lopez. Mr. Lopez, we are going, Mr. Halili is standing in for Mr. Cantu.
Yes, sir.
And that should take care of our cases until we have Pablo Rodriguez will take care of that sentencing individually. Mr. Rodriguez, did you speak with your attorney? You said they were calling you.
I didn't get the call, and I called back, and it didn't go through.
Okay. All right. Once I'm done, I'll go ahead and take care of your case. Okay. I'll do that one individually.
Yes, sir. Don't worry about it.
All right. Perfect. All right. The rest of you, if I can have you raise your right hand. Carlos, do each of you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que testimonio que ahora esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad.
I'll start with Jose Guadalupe Arias.
Empezando con José Guadalupe Arias. Contesta en voz alta. En voz alta.
Perdón.
¿Jura que testimonio que va a haber esta tarde va a ser la verdad y solamente la verdad, señor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sí.
Yes.
All right. How about Olga de Garcia Garza?
¿Y usted, Olga de García Garza?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. Penny Marie Kofler?
Yes.
Thank you. Gustavo Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We are here in CR 21-14-380H. Jose Guadalupe Arias, sir, is that your true and correct name?
José Guadalupe Arias, ¿es tu nombre correcto y verdadero? Yes.
Mr. Arias, you're here before the court charged with the offense of possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor.
Señor Arias, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque eres acusado de una ofensa de posesión de marihuana menos de 2 onzas y se considera un delito menor clase B. Ahorita te explico lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir por esta ofensa.
We're also here in CR 21-06-700H, Olga de Garcia Garza. Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Olga de García Garza, ¿es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Garza, you're here before the court charged with the offense of theft of property, a Class B misdemeanor. And in just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor.
Señora Garza, usted se encuentra ante la corte porque es acusado de una ofensa de robo de propiedad y se considera un delito menor clase B. Ahorita le explico lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir por usted por esta ofensa.
Sí.
Yes.
We're here in CR 21-08-994H, Penny Marie Kopler. Ms. Kopler, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kopler, you're here before the court charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. In just a minute, I'll explain to you the range of punishment for a Class B misdemeanor. You are represented by Nereda Morales Martinez. However, Jonathan Munoz at this time is standing in on her behalf until she arrives. We're here also in CR 20-03-710H, as well as CR 20-03-436H, State of Texas versus Gustavo Lopez. Sir, is that your true and correct name?
Oh, yes, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez, you're here before the court charged with the offense of theft of property, a Class B misdemeanor, and theft of property, a separate offense, also a Class B misdemeanor. You are represented by Rolando Cantu. However, he is not present, and Mr. Anthony Halili is standing in his place. I need to advise all of you that Class B misdemeanors carry a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment all of you can receive for Class B misdemeanors? I'll start with Jose Guadalupe Arias.
José Guadalupe Arias, entiende que la posesión de marihuana que usted tiene, que es un delito menor clase B, lo máximo de castigo que usted puede recibir por esta ofensa es hasta 6 meses de cárcel del condado, una multa de $2,000 o las dos cosas ya sido encontrado culpable. ¿Sí entiendes lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir?
Sí.
Yes.
How about you, Ms. Olga de Garcia Garza?
Y usted, Olga de García Garza, es la misma recomendación de que lo máximo de castigo que puede recibir, ¿sí entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
How about you, Ms. Penny Marie Kopler?
Yes.
How about Gustavo Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All of you have the right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury, but you can waive one or both of those rights by signing a document with this court. Did each of you understand, or did each of you have an opportunity to review a document with your attorney before signing it? I'll start with Mr. Arias.
Señor Arias, usted tiene el derecho a tener un abogado presente con usted, el derecho a presentar tu caso ante un jurado. Puedes renunciar uno o los dos derechos firmando ciertos documentos. Tuvo la oportunidad de revisar esos documentos con su abogado antes de que los firmaras.
Sí.
Yes.
How about Olga de Garcia Garza?
¿Y usted, Garza?
Sí.
Yes.
También.
Thank you. How about Penny Kopler?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about Gustavo Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Did each of you understand that when you signed those documents, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Did you understand that, Mr. Arias?
Señor Arias, entendiste que cuando firmaste esos documentos estaba renunciando a su derecho de presentar su caso en tu jurado. ¿Sí entendió?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. How about Mrs. Garza?
¿Y usted, señora Garza?
También. Sí.
Also, yes.
Penny Kopler?
Yes.
Gustavo Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, Mr. Arias?
Señor Arias, ¿alguna corte alguna vez te ha declarado mentalmente incompetente o que diga que está loco?
No.
No.
Ms. Garza,
¿Y usted, señora Garza?
No, tampoco. No.
Me neither.
Ms. Kofler,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent, able to assist you in their own defense? I'll start with Mr. Munoz on behalf of Jose Guadalupe Arias.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Halili on behalf of Olga de Garcia Garza.
Ms. Garza is competent and able to assist.
All right, Mr. Jonathan Munoz on behalf of Penny Kofler.
For Ms. Martinez, she is competent.
All right, and I think I just have Mr. Rolando Cantu logging on. Let me see if I can get him on. But in the meanwhile, Mr. Halili, how about Mr. Lopez?
Mr. Lopez is competent and able to assist as well, Your Honor.
Court's going to go ahead and make a finding that all the defendants before the court, they're all mentally competent, they're all able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. Do you each understand that if the punishment that I assess, if that punishment does not exceed what is recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission if you decide to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Jose Guadalupe Arias?
Señor Arias, ¿entiendes si el castigo que le doy, si no sobrepasa lo que está recomendando el fiscal? Y si usted decide apelar este caso, necesitas pedir permiso a esta corte primero. ¿Entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
¿Y usted, señora Garza,
También.
entiende?
Sí.
Well, yes.
All right, Ms. Kofler
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you all further understand that the court does not have to accept the recommendation of the state? Do you understand that, Mr. Arias?
¿Entiendes, señor Arias, que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del fiscal? ¿Sí entiendes?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
¿Y usted, Garza?
Sí, también.
As well.
Ms. Kofler?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
At this time, I must ask all of you, are you U.S. citizens? Mr. Arias?
Señor Arias, ¿eres ciudadano americano?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
Ms. Garza, ¿es
Soy-
ciudadano americano?
Residente.
I'm a resident.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right, Ms. Kofler
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Olga de Garcia Garza, because you're not a U.S. citizen, your plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Do you understand those immigration consequences?
Ms. Garza, entiende que por la razón que no es ciudadana americana, al declararse culpable o no lo contendré, pudiera resultar en su deportación, negar la entrada a este país o le pudiera afectar la aplicación para ciudadanía. ¿Sí entiende las consecuencias que pudiera pasar?
Sí.
Yes.
Knowing and understanding those immigration consequences, do you still wish to go forward with your plea here today?
Sabiendo estas consecuencias que pudiera pasar con la inmigración, ¿sigue siendo su deseo de proceder con su caso aquí hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Mr. Jose Guadalupe Arias, to the offense of possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Señor Arias, a la ofensa de posesión de marihuana menos de 2 onzas, que es un delito menor clase B, ¿usted cómo se declara esta ofensa?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
¿Te estás declarando culpable voluntariamente, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
Ms. Olga de Garcia Garza, to the offense of theft of property, how do you plead?
Olga de García Garza, la ofensa de robo de propiedad, un delito menor clase B, ¿usted cómo se declara esta ofensa?
Culpable.
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Se está declarando culpable voluntariamente?
Sí.
Yes.
Penny Marie Kopler, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Gustavo Lopez, to the offense of theft of property, a Class B misdemeanor in CR 20-03710H, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And in CR 20-03436H, theft of property, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
In both of these cases, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court's going to go ahead and accept all your pleas as being freely and voluntarily given. I'll call for state's evidence at this time.
Data offers plea documents and office reports, State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures is State's Exhibit 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment is State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and further stipulate that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient to corroborate the plea of guilty.
All right, I'm going to start with Jonathan Munoz.
Thank you, Your Honor. For Mr. Arias, no objection and so stipulated.
Mr. Halili?
Same announcement for Ms. Garza.
All right, Mr. Munoz, on behalf of Penny Kopler,
Yes, Your Honor. Same announcement for Ms. Kopler.
and Mr. Rolando Cantu, on behalf of Mr. Lopez.
Same announcement, Judge.
There being no objection, state's exhibits in all cases are hereby admitted. In CR 21-14-380H, Jose Guadalupe Arias, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation for Mr. Arias?
The recommendation is a $100 fine, court costs 120 days, Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 120 days.
This will be a zero fine, zero court cost, 120 days, credit for 120 days, time served. Good luck to you, Mr. Lopez, Arias, I'm sorry.
And Judge, the judgment will need to be updated to reflect that because it was originally set for last week. So it says 113 over 113.
We'll go ahead and fix that.
Sí, señor Arias, la corte lo va a encontrar culpable de esta ofensa. El fiscal estaba pidiendo una multa de $100, los costos de corte, 120 días de cárcel, crédito por 120 días. El juez no le va a cobrar la multa ni los costos de corte, va a ser un tiempo servido.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right. In CR 21-06-700H, Olga de Garcia Garza, it is the judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation?
The recommendation is a $200 fine, court costs 6 months of deferred adjudication, theft classes, and in lieu of community service, a requirement that she get her GED.
All right, questions or requests, Mr. Halili?
Yes, Your Honor. Any consideration as to fine court costs and the supervisory fee? Although Ms. Garza is employed, she earns a modest income and she is a single mother of a minor child.
All right, I'll give her 90 days in which to pay the fine, 90 days in which to pay the court cost. It'll be deferred adjudication for 6 months, theft class, and her GED. That'll be the judgment of the court. We do need a phone number for her.
Que Ms. Garza, la corte lo va a encontrar culpable de esta ofensa. El fiscal está recomendando una multa de $200, los costos de corte, 6 meses de libertad condicional deferidos y que tienda clases de robo y que obtenga el diploma de la preparatoria. Su GD. Necesitamos un número de teléfono por usted.
Es a 956-996-4206.
It's 956-996-4206.
Thank you. Just let her know that the intake unit will call her in about 5 days.
Alguien de la oficina de libertad condicional se va a comunicar con usted en esos próximos 5 días, ma'am.
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. You are excused. In CR 21-08-994H, State of Texas versus Penny Marie Kopler, it is a judgment of the court that you're guilty as charged. What is the recommendation in this case?
The recommendation is a $250 fine, court costs 180 days, Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 2 years, mobile alcohol monitoring for 1 year, alcohol classes, 90-day driver's license suspension, 40 community service hours, and open restitution.
Questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Munoz?
Ms. Kopler, are you currently fully employed?
I'm not right now. I'm applying.
Are you a mother of minor children?
No,
Okay.
Does she have a high school diploma?
I do.
Now, is this a first DWI, or why are we talking about 2 years here, Mr. Heller?
Judge, that was the recommendation Mr. Chavana had given. Let me see his justification for that.
It could be a situation where maybe so much restitution is owed that they felt like they needed the time to be able to pay that off.
It could be, Judge. I would need to go into detail in the case to see what happened. He didn't leave any notes for me.
How much is the restitution?
Oh, okay, Judge. It was a felony exchange deal.
Oh,
So
okay.
probation cannot be altered.
Gotcha. All right.
So we also ask that early termination not be possible as a condition of probation.
All right, so this is a part of a felony plea, Ms. Kopler, so I'm not gonna go ahead and touch it, other than I'm gonna run the 90-day Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with the administrative suspension. The rest of the recommendation I will follow since it was part of a plea deal involving a felony, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also gonna give you 90 days in which to pay the court costs, okay? the court costs would have been due today, I'll give you 90 days in which to pay both the fine and the court costs. So you have 3 months to do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
We do need a phone number for you, so please provide us with that.
956-997-1118.
Thank you. Our intake department will be contacting you in about 5 business days.
Okay.
It looks like we also need a restitution date on this case. So let me give you a restitution date, Ms. Kofler. The date will be May the 12th. May 12th, stay in contact with Ms. Morales Martinez, and we'll see you on May the 12th at 9:30, okay?
Okay.
All right, perfect.
And Your Honor, I'll go ahead and email Ms. Martinez the restitution date, and may I be excused?
Both you and your clients are excused. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, just to announce, we will be dismissing CR 21-0899-2H and CR 21-07-291H as part of the plea agreement.
That'll be agreed to, and the court will sign off on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, CR 20-03-710H, as well as CR 20-03-436H, State of Texas versus Gustavo Lopez. It is a judgment of the court that you're guilty of charge on both cases. What is the recommendation?
Judge, the recommendation is the same on both cases. A $200 fine, court costs, 12 months deferred adjudication, theft classes, drug education classes, and 15 community service hours.
Did you say theft classes as well as drug education?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and after drug education, what else? What else?
15 community service hours.
15 CSR. Got it. Questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Cantu?
Your Honor, just any assistance with the fine and the court cost, Judge, and just to clarify, these 2 cases do run concurrent, Judge?
Yes, these 2 cases will run CC with each other. I'm going to give him 90 days in which to pay the fine, 90 days in which to pay the court costs. These did occur out of different transactions. So I'm going to have him pay both the fine and the court costs. Now, however, I will say that there's 15 CSR. Let me ask, Mr. Lopez, are you working at this time?
No, I'm not, sir.
Do you have minor children at home?
No, I don't.
All right, the rest of the recommendation I will follow. We do need a phone number for me.
It's 956-404-2449.
Thank you. Our intake department will be calling you in about 5 business days.
Okay.
All right. That will be that'll be it, Mr. Lopez. You are excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe excuse, Judge.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Cantu. All right, I know what Mr. Espinosa's announcement is going to be. Let me go ahead and get an announcement from Mr. Munoz.
Yes, Judge, I have number 15 on the docket, Your Honor, CR 21-10967H, Martin Mendoza Barbosa, Your Honor. He's present. Yes, Judge, he's present here, Your Honor. I'm just going to turn the device around so the court can identify him. Sure.
Okay, I do see him there. I'm showing no violations on Mr. Mendoza Barbosa. And what was going to be the announcement today, Mr. Munoz?
Yes, Judge. So previously we had been offered PTD, Judge. However, due to his Mr. Barbosa not having a valid license because of other immigration issues, he wouldn't qualify. So the only other 2 options that we have is a regular plea or further discussion with the state if they would consider some other type of resolution, for example, like a bus down. So I'm trying to work it out the best way I can for him, Judge. He's got no prior history, nothing, but unfortunately because of his circumstances, he couldn't do the PTD.
Okay. Are you asking for some additional time?
Yes, so just a short continuous, just so I can continue to work on it and to get it resolved.
Okay, I'm showing no violations, Mr. Munoz or Representative Munoz, no violations on his mobile device. As long as I'm reading that correctly, no mobile device will mean that any final disposition of this case could allow me the opportunity to waive fine and court costs for your client. So if it resolves and if that helps in the negotiations, please know that since he has no violations, to help offset the cost of the mobile device, I will waive all fines and court costs, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me give you a quick reset, maybe 2 weeks, or do you think you need about a little bit more?
No, just 2 weeks is fine.
All right, 2 weeks would put us May the 5th, May 5th, 2022 at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's all we have, Judge. Maybe excuse?
Your excuse, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Evans.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Evans, Kimberly Marie Beltran is present here in the courtroom.
Yes, Judge.
And do you have an announcement I can, or I can have her go to the back in case?
Well, Judge, she had been released on a PR bond, I believe, on Tuesday. And on the order, I just stated for her to appear in person.
Okay.
That's why she's in person, Judge.
Have you had any contact with her in any way?
We were able to get a phone number. Somebody from the jail was able to give me an updated phone number for the mom. It's my understanding she doesn't have a phone right now. So I know she did contact my office after we spoke to mom.
Let me do this. Let me put you in a breakout room with her. I'm going to put her in the back office.
Sure,
to
Judge.
Get some, communication with her going, and y'all can figure that out while I take up an announcement from Mr. Espinosa.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Pablo Rodriguez, he should be ready for sentencing.
Okay, perfect. Let's proceed with that. All right, Pablo Rodriguez. All right, and he pled to all 4 cases. Is that correct, Yuri?
Yes, sir.
All right, and so he needs to get sentenced on all 4 cases as having already pled and then removed from the drug court program. Pablo, can I have you raise your right hand, please, and unmute yourself? Do you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may lower your hand. The court's going to call CR 21-04-833H, CR 20-09-355H, CR 21-04-832H, and CR 20-09-356H. In all 4 of these cases, the court had previously accepted your plea, accepted the fact that the plea had been given freely and voluntarily. At this time, the court will ask that the evidence be reintroduced just so that we can see if Mr. Espinosa has any objection at this point. But if we could just go ahead and reintroduce the evidence.
Yes, Judge. State offers plea documents and office reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's sort of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, Article 39.14 disclosures is Stage 3, waiver of risk and needs assessment States 4, and State would ask that defense counsel re-stipulate the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and re-stipulate that the evidence e-filed has been sufficient to corroborate the original plea of guilty.
Mr. Espinosa, any objections? You're on mute, by the way. I'm sorry.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right.
So agreed and stipulated.
There be no objections. State's exhibits are hereby admitted on all cases. It is a judgment and finding of the court, Mr. Rodriguez, that after considering the evidence, the court is of the opinion that the original plea will be reinstated. What is the recommendation on all these cases?
Judge, the state's going to defer to the court on the recommendation. However, we do ask for maximum punishment. 3 of the charges are Class A misdemeanors, and 1 of them is a Class B misdemeanor.
Victoria, remind me about Mr. Rodriguez while on drug court.
Yes, Your Honor. We just had issues getting a hold of him. He wouldn't return phone calls, wouldn't answer. It was since the beginning when he was set to observe. We had a hard time getting a hold of him to do the ASI screening. And then finally he went through all that. He was placed, and same thing, didn't report for intake or anything.
All right, Mr. Espinosa, the state is asking that I max him out, but I'm assuming that this is a plea to the court.
Yes, correct, Your Honor. If I may, Mr. Rodriguez, he just got recently employed and he's trying to get his life back together. So he's currently in Florida. He does have a child on the way. So that was one of the reasons why he wasn't able to continue with drug court, Your Honor.
Okay, Pablo, you are in Florida right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do there?
I'm in installation in Maryland.
How long have you been living in Florida?
I've barely been here for a week.
Okay, why did you choose Florida? There's no insulation work over here in Texas or what?
Yes, there is, Your Honor, but this is a turnaround and it's good money. They pay us $35 an hour, right? And over there, honestly, down in the valley, it's not paid well. It's not paid well at all.
So you're
I'm
getting paid,
expecting it. Excuse me?
you're getting paid $35 an hour?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
So you've been online for an hour right now. Did I just cost you 35 bucks?
No, Your Honor. I work night shift.
Okay. Oh, okay. Who do you live with over there?
I came with my foreman. Was basically just a guy that picked me up to work.
No, but like, who do you live with over there? Like, do you live with family or do you live
No,
by
Your Honor.
yourself?
No, Your Honor. It's we got in a condo, and we're staying here for the meanwhile. We're gonna be for like a month, and then we leave back to Valley.
Okay. So where do you anticipate going after that? After that time period?
To Port Arthur. There's another Port Arthur in Texas. There's another job site over there for a year, I believe, and I'll go from there, I guess.
All right. Let's talk about priors, Mr. Heller. What kind of priors does Mr. Rodriguez have?
Let me, one moment to pull them up, Judge.
Victoria, is there any major issue about him living in Florida right now?
You'll need to come back at least every 45 days, Judge.
How long? You said you're going to be there about 30 days, Pablo?
Yes, Your Honor. I've already been here a week, so I believe in like 3 weeks I will be back, or 2. It depends. It's like a turnaround, but yes, it won't be less. It won't be more than 30 days.
Judge, these 4 cases are his only ones that I can see locally. He may have more out of state, but or in other parts of the state, but I wouldn't be able to tell that right now unless I ran TCSE.
Okay, both of these
Your
occurred.
Honor, from my understanding, these are his only current charges.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that they're only current pending charges, although the arrest date did occur about 6 months apart. So that means that there was 2 different arrests. On one arrest, there was an evading arrest and a resisting arrest. On the other one, there was a POM and a POCS. So here's what I'll do. And I'm just going to kind of walk through this because I understand that he's working. I want to encourage that. I want to encourage the fact that he's out, hustling to make a living. We need to encourage that. So on the POM in CR 2104-833H, it'll be a $100 fine, court cost. And I'm going to go ahead and offer him 6 months deferred adjudication plus a drug education class. And I'm going to waive his CSR hours. That'll be the same recommendation in CR 2009-355H. It'll be a $100 fine, court cost, 6 months deferred adjudication. Plus, in this case, it's going to be a, what classes do you typically offer for resisting arrest, Yuri? Like a life skills?
I mean, life skills just teach people how to brush their teeth and things like that. It's kind of like,
Victoria, do you have a suggestion?
Yes, Judge, I was going to say life skills. I spoke to a vendor about it once, and I think that's the proper recommendation.
All right, so $100 fine, court cost, 6 months deferred adjudication plus life skills class. The CSR will be waived on both of those. On the other cases, I am going to do a 0 fine, 0 court cost, 6 months deferred adjudication. On the POCS, it'll be a drug education class and waiving of CSR. And on the evading arrest, 0 fine, 0 court cost, 6 months deferred adjudication plus life skills. So really 1 life skills class, 1 drug education class, 6 months deferred adjudication. He'll owe a total of $200 in fines and court costs, and I'll give him 90 days in which to pay the fine and the court costs. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, here's the deal. I typically don't come off this soft when it comes to removing you from my drug court. You didn't comply with anything. You, for lack of a better term, I hate to say this, but you wasted everyone's time getting even put on the drug court program. But I appreciate the fact that you look like you're, at least right now, honest, you're working, you're being responsible, and you're doing what you need to do, right? You said all the right things today. And for that reason alone, I'm going to go ahead and waive your fines and waive your court costs on 2 cases. Both of these will run concurrent. I'm going to waive conditions 6, 7, condition 7, right? Waive condition 7, allowing you to remain over there. I trust that if you listen carefully to what Ms. Rodriguez said, you cannot be in another state for more than 45 days before you come back and report. So I'm assuming you're going to come back into Texas. I'm going to need you to report in person. All right. And then you can continue working, but you're going to have to make arrangements with your probation officer to come back and report. Why? Because I want you drug tested. That's why. Okay. So you're going to come back and report in person, but by then you'll be back in Texas. So I trust that you'll be able to do that reporting. You could do the first one. Let's do the first one. I guess we could do it like, via Zoom, Victoria, so you can stay over there, the intake, and then on month 2, he'll report in person.
Okay.
Okay. You see what I'm doing there for you, Pablo?
Yes, Your Honor. I do apologize for wasting your time, but I won't. You won't regret the decision you made today.
All right. Guess what? If you revoke your probation, I'm going to see you again, and I'm going to remember the fact that I already was very, understanding. I'm not that understanding the second time. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that'll be the judgment of court. We do need a phone number from you right now.
956 534 3756.
Thank you. So our intake department is going to contact you in about 5 business days.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Let me take, you're excused, Pablo, by the way, and Mr. Espinosa, you're also excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
Your Honor. Take care.
Thank you. Still have Ms. Evans in the breakout room.